Hello, my name is Wilhelm Myrer. I'm a CEO and one of the founders of Empower. Empower is making a global plastic waste deposit system and is really building a digital platform for a circular economy. As you know, plastic waste is becoming one of the largest problems and environmental problems that we have in the world. And about 8.2 billion tons of plastic waste had been generated by 2018. And every year, about 32% of the plastic ends up in nature. And I want to briefly mention this study. 97% of all the kids aged 5 to 8 years had the toxic plastic in their blood or urine samples in a study last year in Germany. And when you look at this graph showing the annual production of plastic, it really shows in which direction we're going, and we need to get control of all the plastic waste. To solve the plastic waste problem, when we started Empower, we really looked at what we need to do, and that's came up with these three things. One is to close the tap on plastic waste so it doesn't end up in nature at all. Second is to clean up all that's already out there. And the third one is really providing recycling aid for all the regions and countries that don't have the resources or waste management systems to take care of the plastic waste today, and those need to come into place. And our vision when we started was really that anyone, anywhere should be able to pick up plastic waste, if it's from a beach cleanup or their home, bring it to a collection point, and get an immediate financial reward. And we built this with a digital system, like a token-based app, where you can get a digital incentive anywhere in the world very quickly. And we're using blockchain technology to be able to do these cross-border transactions, and also to be able to trace when and where a payment is done in return for the collected plastics. We really can get a different level of transparency in waste collection than what we had already. And we started this in 2018, and already, after 6 months, we got this 2018 Impact Maker Award by Sinteo, and it was really kind of Obama moment for us, where we got an award for doing something that we just were planning to do. So we hadn't done much by then, but we got this because we had the solution that could really help clean up plastic waste. It could create local jobs anywhere in the world by really organizing waste collection, but also then the recycling side of it. We have an app with the financial services, so you can also bank the unbanked. And it creates then transparent, cost-efficient aid, since this can be started anywhere in the world pretty quickly. And how we really funded the system, because there's no global deposit system in place where the producers fund the collection as of today. So when we started, we needed to have an alternative funding system. So we started creating these plastic credits, where any organization that clean up and collect plastic waste register the data and verifies it, and they earn plastic credits that we then buy, and we really match the collectors with the funding, and which is both individuals and companies that choose to fund really the collection of plastic waste and ensure that it's being recycled. So it's kind of a voluntarily driven deposit system, but the solution itself can then later also be used for extended producer responsibilities and proving really that different kind of packaging of products have been collected and match that with those who are responsible to fund it. And 2 months after we started, we launched this really. We did a post on Facebook to see if anyone wanted to offset the plastic footprint. And then in the first year after we started, we got this, we signed up a few hundred individuals immediately. And after a few months, we started also getting companies asking if they could sign up for all their employees. So we had a huge interest in people and companies that really wanted to help out and help fund this plastic waste problem. And it really allowed us to get started in many countries around the world very quickly. And the other thing that we then realized, because we managed to collect plastic waste everywhere, and but the question was always, where does the plastic ends up later? So it's possible, there's a lot of collection, you have recycling companies, aggregators in all these countries, but still 70% or more ends up in landfills and potentially into nature. And on the other side, when we had this plastic, we started getting companies asking us, can we source this plastic from you? We need more recyclable plastic. We need social plastic. So can you help us with that? So we found out there's really also a high demand for recycled plastic out there. And now driven by EU regulations, more producer responsibilities, taxes on virgin plastic, we just see that this is growing every day. And we really found that there's a huge market opportunity here to close that gap, bridge the gap between all the waste collectors, those who really can help by collecting and sorting and recycling the plastic, and those who are in need of it. So our deposit system started really incentivizing or crowdsourcing the collection and segregation at source of plastic. But then we need, of course, also then to track it and to see where does it end up and try to divert it from landfills and into new products. So we can get products that are made of recycled materials, and then again, like following the circle, can be collected and then tracked again, and you can then really get this infrastructure for circular economy that we're talking about, where all materials, all products should be traceable, and you should know where they are, and there should be a system in place to collect and recycle them again. So for the last first year, we did all this collection and pilots and made really the incentive system to collect. And after that, we've really been building this platform where we also can track and trace and match all the collected materials with those who need it. And the first thing we did here was actually, by giving the incentive and digitally registering the waste, we got started to get live inventories from collection organizations. So like this example here from India, where we worked with an NGO outside Mumbai, and where they started registering all the collection every day and giving us kind of data, so we then could find potential buyers for the social plastic, and then they are turning that this plastic that these are created is being sold at a premium price because of the environmental and social data that we can add to the actual material. So you both add the value of the plastic credits, like the value of cleaning up, but you also add the higher value to the materials because you get materials with a history and more data to it about the collection. And so we really did that on the collector side here. And but to make this full platform work, you need the incentives, not just from the collectors, but all the way. You need also for the incentive for the plastic suppliers, the producers, and the consumers to have an incentive to use these recycled materials and create that demand. And to really, what you want to do is give them an incentive to share their data, because once you can get the platform and you can connect every parties and you give everyone access to the data and exchange that smoothly, you can build trust, you can make much more efficient value chains. And that's what we've been doing. So we try to create kind of all the way through from the collection with the cleanup incentives and payment for doing the segregation at the source. Then you get plastic suppliers that can sell materials with a history, and they add their data and can get a better price for materials. You get producers that can create products with a history and higher value in the market, and also give a system for collecting it more cost efficiently. And in the end, you get consumers that can be sure that they're buying a sustainable product. So it's really about creating all these incentives for everyone and where they can match. So that's really what the platform we're building is about. Looking at more at the big picture, I guess, and the market for this is it's a huge movement, I guess, in just the last few years. And you see corporates, investors, and regulators are all really moving into this space and trying to build this circular economy. And you have the limestone plastic waste who have committed, I think it's now close to $2 billion over the next 4 years to invest that in plastic collection and getting rid of the plastic waste problem. You have the EU with the ban on single-use plastic. They're also now adding this virgin plastic tax of €800 per ton, which will have a huge impact when that comes into place. And several initiatives, and it's growing. I think these numbers are even outdated. It's more and more companies, more and more commitments, more and more pressure from consumers, but also from policymakers. So we really see like this perfect wave of change when it comes to moving from a linear to a circular economy. There's also on the consumer side, it's interesting facts here that 57% of all the consumers believe that plastic pollution is the single greatest threat to life and the environment in modern history. So it's really, it won't stop. We need to really address and solve this quickly. And you see, this is of course reflected then by the plastic producers and the packaging companies who are really committing to creating fully recyclable products and products that are made of recycled materials again. It's also, the last point here is really the potential value increase for the waste collectors who are now at the bottom of the pyramid, but by providing them additional value by giving them incentives to really do the segregation at source, crowdsource the collection, and give them materials that are traceable, that you know where it's coming from, providing them access to market. It's really a huge value increase and potential value increase and revenue increase for the waste pickers that we can create by making this circular system. And yeah, that's something that's really needed in the industry as well. So this is the expected growth, Ellen MacArthur Foundation. I think this is also before the last EU tax, and is more factors that is really driving this. But it's regulations, consumer demand, industry commitment, and it just keeps coming in. So it's I think it's no doubt that we're moving towards much higher recycling rates and big step towards circular economy in the coming years, and it's really from all sides here. So what's Empower doing this, and what's kind of our competitive advantage in this is really we started out with doing this deposit system where we set up collection points in Norway, in India, Portugal, Laos, Nigeria, Tanzania, where anyone could come and deliver plastic waste, and in return for this incentive. And it really gave us very quick expansion. We have been doing on-the-ground collection in 16 countries, and we did that within the first 1.5 years. And really been building detailed knowledge about the regional and local recycling and value chains and how it works on the collection, the informal and the formal parts of the industry. And we're also building a unique global network here from really the grassroots of collection to the big companies and players that are working on in this field and trying to make things happen on the ground as well. So far, we have cleanup and tracking partners in, I think now it's 27 countries, working on the supply chain, doing recycling, doing collection, sourcing materials. We also have really sponsors or companies and individuals that want to fund the cleanup and buying these plastic credits in more than 25 countries, about 28, 29 countries now. So really all over the world you have the same interest in solving this problem, and it's really, there's funding out there to solve the plastic waste problem, and it's really interesting to see how everyone can play a part in this regardless of where they are and which part of the value chain they are in. So this is just a bit of the track record. I mean, we've done more than 100 cleanups in addition to permanent collection points, and have more than 7,000 people and waste pickers and people involved in these cleanups in 16 different countries. We are currently having 7 larger pilots where we take the collected materials and track it into products again. So just last week we launched the first product, or Vestre, a furniture company, launched the first bench made out of 100% ocean plastic, ownerless ocean plastic in Norway, and is then being collected along the coast of Norway, traced through the supply chain, and they are also providing a new business model. So the plastic in this bench is rented out to Vestre by Ogori, a sustainable material provider. And when they have reused it and it needs to be changed, they can deliver it back and get new plastic again, and it's ensured to never end up in nature again. So it's really creating these digital twins for the products they make, and create a deposit system where once they sold the bench itself, all the materials can still be delivered and renewed and recycled. So we really keep all the materials in the loop and ensure it doesn't end up into nature again. So we're seeing those kind of new business models that are really interesting and also financially viable. This is, just adding to this. I mean, since all from the start, we were like a 6-month-year-old startup in September 2018, and we still got invited into the OECD to talk about how we can use technology for sustainability. So it's just underpinning the whole, the problem is really out there. Everyone is looking to it, and it's a huge drive, and it's really an opportunity to change the world in a good way, I think. And it's this is not like a few NGOs or idealists doing something or doing beach cleanups and to raise awareness, but actually a whole society is working together to make a change here. That's super interesting. I guess this is a bragging slide, but we've really been through several accelerators, again, building this global network, seeing what other solutions are out there, how can we work together. It's important thing here, I think it's just, it's really not about competition in this space. It's It's a lot of different solutions that need to come together. And if you're going to move the global economy from a linear economy to a circular economy, it's about trillions of dollars that really need to be taken from the old model into the new one. And it will take anything from designing every small product, like a pen will need to be redesigned, to the cars or the materials in your houses, and construction to shipping. It's like no sector that won't be seeing this changes coming when you start talking about producer responsibility for everything. And you need to start taking into consideration, always put in the value or the cost of actually collecting and recycling the materials you make, and it will just shift everything that we know, I think. So it's all these accelerators, different programs, it's all just really a great way to connect with different solutions, find out what's coming, and how can we make a platform that really makes everyone work together and everyone get access to the right information that they need to really take part in this. Yes, you have seen this kind of pictures before, I'm sure, and it's this is how the world actually looks, and it's there's tens of thousands or millions of this kind of pictures and places, and it's the damage it's doing to us and to the next generation is amazing. It's probably a wrong word, but it's terrible, and I think we all really start to do something about it, and it's happening. And seeing this, of course, it makes everyone want to act, and I think this has to be kind of the core of every company going forward, to do something about this. We're creating this really solution or platform. So we're really creating a software where anyone who wants to contribute can get access to tools, access to potential funding for the cleanups, access to buyers, companies, or people that need the recycled plastic and can take that back into the economy again. Really creating a demand for plastic that is in nature, to bring it back in, and also creating the incentives to never send it out in the first place, trying to digitize the different sources of plastic and find buyers for it before it's thrown into a landfill or blown into the ocean again. So it's really trying to make a system and a platform where everyone can help stop this leakage into the nature, and that's what we're doing. And I mean, our goal is that in a few years you should be able to still see this, and it's you won't have more plastic in the ocean, I think, if we work together, but we definitely need to start doing it. Well, thanks a lot.